I'm Jack.
I'm Evan.
And we're in Steel Train. Not much besides the fact that it's in the same. It's us in the sense that it's something new. So, as vague as that sounds, I think anyone who's liked our band at this point has gotten into us for that reason because we're trying to push forward.
Early
2015.
2015. What?
Probably. I don't know.
Early 2012. Mid 2012. What do you think?
Probably say early, and then things get pushed sooner than later.
We've talked about that, yeah.
We kind of scrapped them.
We were approached by a couple people that heard the song that were into it and wanted to do it, and we had so many ideas for it. I don't know what we'll end up doing with it. What do you think?
I think we'll probably end up just recording it at some point because at some point we should. It's hard with those things, because we might be at that point where it's kind of like past its time.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like just let it be like this like weird thing that we did, instead of. I don't know. Sometimes things are funny like that. Just like there's this weird thing that happened then. Wrote the song for Yo Gabba Gabba, and maybe people are doing new kid songs.
A kid's album.
Yeah, kids album. All just like real straight ahead direct stuff like eat this, it's fun to dance, don't touch that. John Ritter.
It was a ninja show this year. We did
Very
an
cool.
in-store show. Dude, it was that.
I wore a funky jacket. You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think of what else.
Seems like the heat's really breaking you down.
2 years ago, we did a show in Houston where we were all New Jersey trash, and we all put trash on us.
Yeah, put trash on us. We've been doctors.
Mm-hmm.
It's
A lot of stuff. It's a lot of shit.
pretty cool. Those two shows.
No, yeah.
What other? We were girls. We were one time.
Yeah.
One time we were a whores and one of us was a pimp.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
There's a band that used to be called Days Away. They're now called Good Old War. And years ago, we were on tour with them in the format. And during their set, we decided to prank them, and we got the keys to their van and moved their van. And then we had the promoter stop them in the middle of the set and tell them that someone stole their van. And they came outside and freaked out.
And then they antiqued me to get me back.
Yeah.
When for some reason the venue has no air conditioning.
Yes, that's
in
bad.
2011.
Very bad.
When we all know how simple it is to just get air conditioning installed. Honestly?
I know, what do you think?
It's usually really comfortable. Occasionally it's uncomfortable, whether you don't like the hotel you're in or if you're somewhere where there's no air conditioning in the summer. All joking aside, just little things like that. But that's nothing. There's nothing that sucks about being in a band that doesn't suck about just being alive occasionally. So because all the stuff that people would normally say, like, oh, traveling, being away, I really always love that stuff. So I don't know if I could really say anything. I could tell you things that generally bum me out in life, but I don't know if that would really qualify as an answer for what sucks about being in a band. Nothing really sucks.
Laptop is definitely one of them. Or iPad.
iPhone, iPad.
And the Apple Odd product.
The connection that connects your phone to the stereo so you can listen to music. It's a pretty big one.
And your wallet.
Hey. I don't know. Being on tour is so easy. That's another thing that's changed.
Yeah.
Like when we first started touring, it was just different. It's so easy to just like mail anything, or not that there wasn't mail before, but just maybe because we're older, just if you lose something, you can get it. Actually, you know what it is different? It's like the middle of the country a couple of years ago was way less barren in terms of like resources.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like if you need anything,
Mm-hmm.
or if you really just need to go to a certain restaurant to relax,
Mm-hmm.
you can probably
you can find
it.
that, yeah. Even if it's.
I mean, there was no Whole Foods when we were kids.
It's very true.
Now there's Whole Foods everywhere.
There's still not enough Whole Foods in the Midwest.
But there's still a lot.
There's a lot.
There's never 3 days on tour where we're not near a Whole Foods. Never. Name it.
The Duluth, and that whole area. Fargo.
An anomaly. I guess the real definition is people that were becoming inspired and growing up with music before everything shifted, you know? You know, before the radio was stupid, you know, because when we grew up, you know, it's not because we were young, it's because it's true, you know, like, you know, 10 years from now, you know, that song, I'm hot because I'm fly, you're hot because you're not, or whatever that song is, or stuff like that, or, you know, songs ridiculous, or like Kesha, or even like, you know, Taylor Swift, or artists like that, or even earlier, like Michelle Branch, like this whole decade, no one's gonna look back on that and talk about how iconic it was. But when we grew up, and we were so lucky, the Smashing Pumpkins were on the radio, and, you know, Weezer was on the radio, and Pearl Jam was on the radio, and Green Day was on the radio, and also at the same time, Melissa Etheridge was on the radio, and 10,000 Maniacs were on the radio. It's like there was real music that was mainstream, and there's plenty of incredible music now. I'm not saying there isn't. It might actually be one of the greatest times for music, but it's not mainstream. So there was this connection. If you were a child in the 90s, you know, or like a teen or whatever, you're growing up, it's like everyone your age, you had this connection because you all were into like whatever was happening. Probably like it was in the 60s, you know, like Woodstock 94 and just all the music. You know, if I saw someone my age, I would know they like Green Day or the Red Hot Chili Peppers or whoever, and that was such a cool thing to share. Nowadays, I think that with youth, there's a lot of disconnection because it's just, you know, there's not one like leading force of like art or you know, whatever in culture, music and culture that's pushing forward. So I think it's a special thing, and then you talk to people our age, you remember the 90s and you talk about it, and it was just a very special time because of that. At the time, we thought it was cool because we were young. It turns out it was one of like the coolest times in history, which you never know is going to happen. You know, I'm sure that some kids think that what they're listening to now is cool, and then they'll realize it was stupid. Does that make sense? A name drop?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Just you say, hey, we're Steel Train.
Oh, you mean like, so we're hanging out with Robin.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
Is it Pup Fresh?
Yeah.
Pup.
Up like a dog. Yeah.
Hi, we're Steel Train, and Pup Fresh is fresher than...
Me.
Fair enough.